Okay, and we're back with another Persona 3 Ultimax. Well, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. So we finished episode P4 yesterday, okay? And episode P4 is a continuation of P4 Arena. And basically we found out that... Well, we don't find out everything. I feel like there's still something missing, okay? Because the person who makes this happen is most... Well, the key person this time, because in P4A, Labis is in the center of it, right? In episode P4, the person in the middle of things is Minazuki Sho, okay? Supposedly the son of Ikutsuki Shuji. And if you ask me, like, I think he's not his real son, I assume. It's more of a... Wait, I just noticed something. Look at that. That's like, this one is like yellow. Huh. I just noticed that. Red means it's all clear. Red means it's all clear. If this is yellow, I remembered here we need to make a choice. Give me a second, let me just speed it up. It's founded on the strength of your bonds. I just realized this. Oh, damn. Okay, that was dumb of me. Wait, I screwed up. I didn't turn... Oh god, I forgot to change the scene. Okay, that's really dumb of me. That's really dumb of me. It's been a while since I made the mistake. Okay. That's right, no one can live by severing ties with other people. If Sho doesn't know how to do this because of the life he's had, then we just have to show him how. Now I see the reasoning of this. Because yesterday, like, I answered it because like it's from him being alone, right? Okay? Actually it's not, because I mean Sho, we just call Sho the main character, and the one inside of him as Minazuki, okay? Because he was experimented and put a plume of dust inside of him, right? Okay, and that created basically another personality. So in a sense, they do have bonds. Okay, it's like they're talking to another person, but that person is inside of them. I'm sure even Mitsuru-san and the other shadow operatives will accept Sho, just like they did with Labris. It's such a simple thing that even the fake Iges figured it out, so there's no way that you can't see this, right, Minazuki? Should I just skip? Because this is basically we're skipping the one that we've seen. And here comes Hino Kagutsuchi. Huh? It is Hino Kagutsuchi, right? Yeah. Sorry for realizing it now. We're supposed to go to P3. But he got the better of me. Just spam. Uh-oh. It depends on luck as well. Ah! If we're fast enough, we could have countered him. Ah! Oh, come on! Because his head is floating, right? It's a bit hard to get the hitbox right. Okay. Let's just speed it up. I mean, it's so cool, man, seeing Adachi and you, both of them using their Izanagi. Like, one thing I want to see, if they're gonna make any changes, which I don't think they will, what if Namatame awakens? Namatame haven't awakened to his persona, you know? And if he's awakened, we're gonna have a third Izanagi, which I assume would be Izanagi Picaro. Okay. Huh? Huh? It's only 94%. It's only 94. What did I miss? All of them are red, right? Red means everything's clear. Huh. This is so weird. Or maybe like we have to go through episode P3 and episode Adachi to like unlock something. Oh well. We can go there now. Why is he here though? The moment I pressed this just out of curiosity and I saw him.
人は世界を満たし尽くし、真っ平らな虚無の王国にしてしまった。
Is he still alive?
もはや滅びによってしか救われない。くだらねえ。あんたマジで最高だよ。最高の最高野郎なんつって。
Look at that. Maybe it's the General Teddy, because General Teddy does have like the ability to like change to other people. I don't think Sho likes Shuji though, because he did a lot of experiments on him.
で、その後はどうするつもりだったんだよ、父さん。無様に死んじまったんじゃ世話ねえよな。僕がやってやる。あんた世界を滅ぼしたかったんだろう。なあ、ゴミ虫野郎が。世界は僕だけになる。ゴミカスばっかのクソ世界なんざ何もかも全て消え去っちまえ。まあ僕ももう高校生だし、ちっとは親孝行生なんつってな。
くだらんな。こやつらは我が赤い霧の中でしか活動できる。それも限られた時間のみだ。くだらぬ干渉に費やす時間があるなら、さっさと事の準備を整えろ。
ユーモアがねえな。あんまうるせえとてめえも殺す。
小賢しい。受け取れ、貴様の手駒たちだ。
ああ、よくできてるじゃねえか。いいぜ、てめえから借りた力もあるからな。これで負ける理由はねえわ。
By the way, I still don't know how they pull off the hijacking.
さて、じゃあちょっと交代と行くか。交代と移行隊なんつってな。人形の人形か。今度こそしっかり働いてもらうぞ。始めよう、彼の世界のために。
Wait. The shadows. May 5th afternoon, I'm at the Shadow Operatives Lab, which is the Ergonomic Research Lab.
ラビリスの人格モジュールと制御系のリンク、一通りチェック終わりました。
Furuka-san's voice echoes through the machinery line room where she works as the operator. You think there'll be a little more time until she finished with her work?
さすがに頼れるな。
無理を言って付き合わせてすまない。
This is supposed to be before, right? This is supposed to be before the start of episode P4, even maybe a little bit earlier, because we do know that that Mitsuru's gang, they are captured, so it's most likely it's around May 5th, May 4, May 5th, something like that.
あんなすごい事件があったら、私だって放っておけないですし、でも私が触ってよかったんですか？今ってみんな警察の組織なんですよね。心配ない。シャドウワーカーとなった今でも、このラボはほとんどキリ城独自のものだ。
The Shadow Operatives. But then we do know that the public security came and barged in. Well, that is after they got captured. A special unit under the direct supervision of the National Police Agency, organized to deal with supernatural cases that the normal police would be unable to respond to. In other words, cases dealing with the shadows. This is one of those laboratories under the management of the Shadow Operatives. The purpose of this is mainly to analyze evidence gathered in shadow-related cases, analysis of shadow matters for scientific understanding, and planning operations. Another objective is the maintenance, inspection, or service for anti-shadow weapons such as myself. Okay, we are from Eigi's perspective. Since I am a member of the Shadow Operatives and am classified as a weapon due to my mechanical nature, I periodically undergo maintenance at this facility. Directly after the inauguration of the Shadow Operative, Mitsuru-san had a state-of-the-art packing case prepared to transport me. However, the one slumbering within this case is my sister, who is also our teammate, Labris, the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon.
ラビリスの動作チェック終了です。あとはシステムを再起動して最終チェックを。ご苦労。どうだ？あれだけの損傷だったので心配しましたが、大きな問題はないみたいです。
Since my sister had been forced to push herself beyond her limit during the events of the other day, her entire body has taken serious damage. I'm glad that she's okay. Furuka-san's words caused me to sigh of victory.
メモリーの方は？すみません。チェックしてみましたけど、今回の事件の犯人につながる記録は見つかりませんでした。
Oh, please tell me like she can unlock the memories of 24 and the base personality, which is the young girl.
これ以上の追跡となると、情報部の報告を待つしかありませんけど、そっちはまだ時間がかかりそうですね。
I doubt the base personality girl is still alive, but at the very least, like the way how the story is told, if they are able to like bring both of like they are able to bring her to see even the grave of the base personality, I think that'll be great.
そうか。
I see Mitsuru-san tighten her fist with that quiet utterance. The culprit is someone capable of manipulating the data in my sister's memory. The possibility that they would make a mistake of leaving a trace leading to themselves is extremely low. Even when one knows the outcome, people often feel indignant when the last bit of hope is crushed. It's understandable. Our ability to find out who kidnapped my sister has been completely stymied.
手がかりなしか。
そうせくな。情報部から新しい報告があるかもしれんだろう。
航空機ハイジャック事件以降、公安が不穏な動きを見せているという情報もある。早めに手を打たなければ、この機に乗じて何をしてくるかわからない。くだらんチャチャが入る前に糸口を見つけなければ。
Akiko-san has known Mitsuru-san for a while. Mitsuru-san's expression remains stiff as he tries to console her. But that's totally natural. The shadow operatives are still in a delicate position with regards to where we stand with the National Police Organization. As a seemingly suspicious group, founded by an outsider and dealing with crimes outside the capabilities of the normal police force, we often are met with cold stares of the people who could be our fellow investigators when we are dispatched on cases. The logic of such action eludes me, but I cannot pretend that they do not exist.
みつるさん、お気持ちはわかりますが、一つ一つみんなで解決していきましょう。そのために私たちは今日ここに集まりました。
そうだな。すまなかった。もう一度これまでの情報を整理してみよう。すまないが協力してくれ。
Mitsuru-san implores us for assistance. Our gathering here in the lab today isn't just to hear about results of Furuka-san's test on my sister. We come to share and review the information we have, to inspect the clues as closely as possible, to get the culprit as quickly as
今
possible.
回の事件の犯人はまず我々が輸送中の対シャドウ特別制圧兵装5式ラビリスを強奪した。
はい。陽動としてみつるさんの登場する航空機をハイジャックし、その混乱に乗じて姉さんを強奪。その後、刑事ごと稲葉市まで搬送させました。
ああ、ハイジャックの実行犯は確保されたが、何らかの方法で精神を操作されていた疑いがある。
Those who hijacked the airplane and transported the kid had no memory of taking part in the crime. They did not recognize one another, had nothing in common, and were all ordinary citizens with no prior criminal records. They did, however, all claiming their testimonies that they saw red eyes through their interrogations are still ongoing. It seems that it won't be long before they are released. Then, is it sure? With all these points being taken into consideration, it becomes apparent that this is no ordinary crime.
稲葉で待っていた犯人は記憶データを改ざんしてラビリスを起動。テレビの中の世界に放り込んだというわけか。
心や記憶がそのまま具現化するテレビの世界と、その記憶を細かく操作できる機械の体を持ったラビリス、つまり敵は私たちへの罠を作り出すために彼女を利用した。
姉さんを追ってテレビの中の世界に入った我々は姉さんのシャドウを撃破。そこで犯人と間接的に接触しました。
犯人が明かした犯行の目的は俺たちからペルソナを奪うこと。同士討ちで心を揺さぶってペルソナを制御できなくさせ、シャドウに戻してそれを集めることだった。全てを結合させ、より強力なシャドウを手に入れるために。
Everyone falls silent. The mysterious person's motive was to gather and unify shadows. This is all too similar to something that those of us gathered here will never forget.
美月修二か。
あの時の犯人の話し方、幾月さんと符合する点があります。そしてペルソナが使えないという点も。
でもそんなはずありません。あの時彼は確かに。
ああ、幾月は死亡が確認されているはずだ。
あるいはいくつきの他にまだ同じことを考える輩が存在するということか。
だとすれば遠いな。私たちの目指す世界は。
Like, I told you guys before when we seeing Labrys's memories, right? like when she have to go and fight her same models, like basically like her sisters. Like there are 3 researchers, okay? And the 3 researchers, I assume one is Shuji, okay, Ikutsuki Shuji, the glasses guy. Then we do have the lady researcher, which I assume is at the antique store. And the third guy, the scruffy guy, he looks a lot like Edogawa Sensei. Like, and even when we play in P3, right, we did hear like the lady in the antique shop say something like that, like she didn't come out and say directly, but it is clear that she's talking about that it is clear that she's talking about being that she was part of like Kirijo group, you know, like because she did talk about shadows and stuff. So I'm very curious about that. Mitsuru sounds as if she's angry. Ikutsuki Shuji, 3 years ago, he became fascinated with the fall and tried to bring about the end of the world using shadows. To Mitsuru-san, he is also the adversary that robbed her of her precious father. Oh yeah.
山岸、ラビリスが目を覚ましたら、3年前の事件のあらましを教えてやってくれないか。封印されていた間に何があったのかを彼女にも知っておいてほしい。
わかりました。
素早くデータを転送ってわけにはいかないのか？
Nope.
それだとただの記憶になっちゃうんです。理解してもらうにはちゃんと話さないと。
つくづく人間だな。
それに記憶を調べていた時に気づいたんですが、ラビリスは記憶野の作りがアイニスとは少し違うんです。普段使う記憶領域の他にもう一つサブ領域みたいなのがあって。
記憶領域が2つ。
多分同型機のフィードバックを受け取るために使われてたんだと思いますけど、まだよくわからなくて、だから普通に話して教えた方が安全だと思うんです。
わかった。やり方は任せよう。いくつきについては新たに見つかったエルゴ犬の隔離サーバーを含め全ての情報の洗い直しを急がせている。問題のサーバーはグループ内のネットワークからも切り離されていたため、これまで発見できなかったものだ。おそらく本来ならエルゴ犬を出ることのなかった極秘実験のデータなどが隠されているはずだ。
Ikutsuki-san could be involved in this case. Mitsuru-san's worry and irritation may be caused by she senses that possibility. We can all understand the pain she must be
ところ
in.
で、例の真夜中テレビとやらは結局どんな理屈だったんだ？
まだ不明だ。しかし稲葉市には改めて人を送る必要がある。明日から本部で対策会議を開くぞ。
Huh? Suddenly an alarm that notifies us of abnormality goes off and reverberates throughout the lab. Mitsuru-san quickly uses a nearby control panel to contact the staff within the facility.
どうした？
監視システムがシャドウ反応の上昇を検知。座標は九段の稲葉市です。現在警戒レベル3付近で安定中。
なんだと？
早速お出ましか。考える手間が省けたな。
Like, last time they did talk about level 4. Level 4 is when, throughout the whole Persona 4 year. Because remember at the end, like the fog engulfs the town. That probably is considered as level 4. I assume that the shadow activity during the during the P-1 CLIMAX is around 4 or 5 maybe.
鳴神さんたちが危険です。みつるさん、出動命令を。
よし、我々が出るぞ。山岸、ラビリスは菊野に任せてこちらに同行してくれ。
了解です。じゃあ菊野さん、あとお願いしますね。
承知しました。お嬢様、皆さんお気をつけて。
One of Mitsuru's personal domestic assistant, or should I say maid, Ikino-san answers. Ikino-san and Mitsu-san has a stronger bond than that any of the ordinary servant matter. She is another of the shadow operatives. Her words catch my attention for some reason. You think she betrayed us? Please be careful. A very trivial expression of concern for our safety. Brushing it off as common courtesy would be simple. I feel that she may be sensing something unusual. Okay, good. Something unusual regarding the situation that awaits us there. What could be the causing of this unease? Does Mitsuru-san knows? As I'm trying to decide whether or not to look deeper into Mitsuru-san's state of mind, Luka-san gets up and from her operating seat and beckons with me over.
ラビリスはともかく、アイギスは調整とか平気なの？というと、資料を読んだの。今のその新しい体にある新型装備って、私てっきりあの大きな銃とかだと思ってたけど、
その話ですか。確かにまだとても実用に耐える結果は出ていませんね。でも今度の相手は難敵です。
あんなこと可能なの？一つ間違えたら。
Luka-san face clouds as she looks at me. I can't be confident that I'll be alright and I'm unable to tell her a pleasant lie to calm her down. In any case, I only pray that a situation that requires me to use my new equipment never arises. We never see her use this though. Both of us are tense as we prepare to depart.
お嬢様のお召し物は車両の中に替えのご用意があります。どうぞお使いください。
そうか、ご苦労。
他に真田さん愛用のプロテイン、山岸さんが自室で最近編集していたお出かけ用 BGM なども。
聞くの十分だ。
失礼しました。
As expected of Kikuno-san, she is amazingly considerate, as a personal assistant should be. But she can be too thoughtful at times. We learned this for ourselves when she came to accept us as people who are precious to Mitsuru-san.
仕切り直しだな。シャドウワーカー、出動する。
Thanks to Kikuno-san, the tension in the air subsides a bit, but we cannot allow our attention to wander just now. Upon completing our preparation for departure, we immediately make our way to Inaba.
ところでミツル、なぜまたこの車なんだ？
Akiko-san grumbles from the back seat of the Shadow Operator's personal limousine. I'm not sure how to put this, but I find his feelings are justified.
言うな、秋彦。緊急の出動だ。同じ設備の車両を用意する時間などなかった。それよりお前こそまたその格好なのか。
戦闘の可能性があるからな。こいつは格段に動きやすい。
さすが真田さん、ブレないであります。
それにしても犯人の行動がこんなに早いなんて、完全に後手に回ってしまいましたね。
ああ、今のうちにいくつか手を打つ必要があるな。鳴神君たちに危害が及ばないという。
Mitsuru-san seems deeply agitated. During the car ride, she seems distracted. At times, she would flip through the thick file in her lap, only to suddenly give another order to a subordinate, and at other times she would stare intently at her watch as if lost in thought. Her usual regal composure is gone.
みつるさん、いっそのこと鳴神さんたちに協力を求めてはいかがでしょうか。
同感だな。なかなか骨のありそうな連中だった。
いや、彼らはまだ若い。協力を依頼すれば学生生活という貴重な時間を浪費させ、その上彼らを危険にさらすことになる。そんなことはもう誰にもさせたくない。
気持ちはわかるが、言って聞くような奴らじゃないだろう。あの頃の俺たちもそうだった。
Mitsuru-san falls silent. It's likely not a mistake that the sudden spike in shadow activity this time is related to the events a few days ago. It has become apparent to everyone that another dangerous battle is about to begin.
新しい情報だ。菊野から連絡が入った。菊野にはエルゴ犬の隔離サーバーを洗い直してもらっていたのだが、先刻話題に上った幾月修二について新たな事実が判明したようだ。
What is it?
報告によれば、幾月は爆発事故の直後から 研究所内で個人的な実験を行っていたらしい。今回の件とどのように関連するかは不明だが、その実験に黄昏の羽が使用された記録が残っていた。
Sure. A plume of dust, an object that blurs the line between matter and information, and is fitted into anti-shadow weapons like myself. It forms the core of our personality module, and is what allows us to control personas even though we are machines.
それで実験の内容は何だ？どの道ろくなものじゃないだろうがな。
あ、いくつき修士は。
The limousine engine suddenly roars, drowning out further conversation. It seems that the road we are taking has begun to climb a steep hill. As the car takes a winding road up the slope, I can look down through the window and see large trees alongside the mountainside. For a moment, I thought I sensed a shadow reading. Could it have just been my imagination?
山岸、現在地を教えてくれ。
了解しました。現在地確認します。現在地は稲葉峠です。問題の場所まであと少しですね。
This is where they get attacked.
何？モニターが。
どうした？敵襲か？
運転手、何が起きている？
Uh-oh.
運転手をしろ。
Red eyes!
と同じ。アイギス、了解であります。決壊。閉じ込められたのか。
Sure. What? Oh, battle with Merlion, the honor student. I'm not a big fan of. Yukari though, but I can see that she might become. She might be more mellower now that she's grown up.
行くわよ。フェザー
Why is pink in the middle?
秘密結社ホラバス。これ以上勝手にはさせないわ。
毎度邪魔ばかりしよってやってしまえ。
マーライオンが覚悟しなさい。
そいつはどうか。
Shouldn't it be the red?
みんなもう許さない。アルティメットアロー。
That's not how you're supposed to fight a Sentai. You're supposed to call in robots and like join them together to make a giant mech roar. That's not how you do a Sentai.
お疲れ様。かなり良かったわよ。本当ですか？もうバッチリ。
It ain't a Sentai until like you have like multiple machines turning into a giant robot.
10分休憩です。
When the director calls this out, the tension in the area dies away. I make my way to the simple tent used as our break room and take a sip of my drink. My scenes for today are done.
疲れた。フェザーピンクノリノリじゃない。え、そうですか？監督も褒めてたよ。本業にもいい影響出そうね。あ、そうそう、次の撮影なんだけど。
What's the main job? My real job is supposed to be studying college. I wipe the sweat on my brow as my manager excitedly tells me about the schedule for my next gig. I always had an interest in fashion, but I started taking modeling jobs as a way to earn some pocket money. Pocket money? Oh wow. If you don't know, the original Power Rangers are paid like they are paid terribly, okay? And basically they are paid like a low wage, bare minimum low wage, and it was later revealed by like one of the actors. They found out like the Green Range, the sixth member, the cool guy, you know? And hearing that, it kind of like makes me sad that they are starring on TV, but they don't get paid properly. But I don't think it'll be that bad for the Japanese side. Trying to manage both my classwork and my job as a model was already hard enough when my manager applied for an audition for a live action show without my consent, claiming that I should broaden my work horizons. When I mentioned I had practiced archery in high school, it really caught their attention. It all makes sense to me when I learned that feather pink weapon would be a bow and arrow though. As a result, I ended up as a protector of Earth in a kids superhero show starting this year. While my acting work makes use of different expressions, and my modeling career let me dress up in a lot of different clothing, it kind of makes me feel like I'm changing who I am too. It's insanely busy, but it's fulfilling and fun, and yet
どうしたの？悩み事？いや、そういうわけじゃないんですけど。
give me a second, I want to take some water. Heck. I checked my cell phone, but Mitsuru Senpai still hasn't sent me a response. I have tomorrow off, so I emailed her earlier if she'd like to spend some time with me and go shopping. She's been contacting me less and less often recently, and when it does, it's because of shadows. Okay, that shows me this means that there's a lot of shadow activities. I'm one of the shadow operative, a group established by Mitsuru Senpai. I understand that she wants us all to be able to have normal lives, and she said that she wouldn't hesitate to ask for my help if she ever needed it. But it still seemed to me that she was taking everything on by herself. That attitude didn't satisfy me, so I forced her to add me to her team. However, unlike Aegis and the other official members, I'm part of a special unit that only gathers in emergency, trusted with immediately subduing shadows by force. What did she call it? The auxiliary staff? Yeah, something like that anyway. It's wonderful that there have been no situation that called for us to be dispatched. Even if something like that did arise, the official shadow operatives are all excellent. There's no need to worry with the likes of Akiko Senpai and Aegis around, but we normally talk when we see each other, so I've never doubted my friendship with her. Still, when things remain unsettled, it's unsatisfying. Maybe I'll have to get on her case about taking everything on all by herself again. Huh? There's something loud going outside. As the sound gets closer, the tent walls and roof begin to undulate in intense wind. When I rush outside, I see a crew all looking up, causing a commotion. And I look up, there's a black helicopter descending towards the dangling roof, dangling a rope ladder. The lady in the pilot seat sees me and gestures toward the ladder. Oh, at that moment it all became clear. I only know one person who would do this.
来てくれるのはいいけど目立ちすぎだっての。
I'm completely astounded by the utter absurdity of the situation, but before I know it, I already running towards the ladder. You know. Hikuno. It makes sense that they say that he's the middle school student council president. I would be a bit angry if they say he's a high school, because it doesn't make like the timeline correct. Wait, is that the dorm? I thought they didn't use the dorm anymore. I don't know. God damn it, man. This one hits different. Like I always compare P3 and P4, but you know, P4 is like amazing, but this song gives the same vibe as like most of the P4 feelings, especially the ending part. I feel like one of the most, like 30% of the game, okay, 30% of why the game succeeded is probably because of the music, you know. 30 to 40%. Hearing this like really puts you into the mood, you know. That's why like most of games they don't really pay into this attention. But if this, like, the reason, okay, why I think Japanese they pay attention to this is because, like, for Western games, right, they're more action based, while for Japanese they are more text based. That's why like we have like RPG of the line of like the original Final Fantasy, right? It's like we're turn based. You move, we move. You move, we move. Okay, and like you don't really like have much action in it. Okay, and to pair it up, they would to make the moment much better. Like their BGM and the songs they use match. Okay, and at that time, and this is what I think what makes the earlier console, okay, like in the 80s, 90s, in the early 2000s, they're limited in the sense that they can only put so much data into one game, okay? And that's why, like during the earlier times, like they need to like make everything worth it, okay? Like PS1 era is like try to broaden that a bit, but it's still limiting them. And PS2 is when you really see like it being opened up. But when it opened up, it kind of like give the developers more leeway, and instead of like innovating everything and cramming it all in like the most efficient manner, okay? Because if you don't know, like, if you don't know, early on in the Final Fantasy series, when the making of it, like, without a doubt, when we talk about Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2 early on, they are very heavily constrained in terms of like how to program things. And you know, even the top, like, like the top and the original like staff of Final Fantasy that make it all happen. Okay, like, another legend that was like another legend from the Final Fantasy developers is the programmer, and he was hardly mentioned, but like, I forgot who they mentioned, like, yeah, we couldn't make Final Fantasy if it's not for this guy. This guy was a programming god back at the time. Okay, so maybe, like, hearing that, okay, I'm not saying that. Oh, I think like the person that said it is probably like the sound composer of it. The sound composer being the guy with the who hits the Black Mages, right? The group. And they realized that early on that music, sound, BGM is a big part of it. And that's what make like the Japanese gaming industry see that as like a, not a priority, but not a top priority, but it's still between the top 3 lists, top 4 lists or something like that. Okay, top 3, top 5 lists. Okay, and seeing that P3 is like supposedly ATLUS final game because they are in such a financial constraint at the time. It also, like I said earlier, because at the time they are limited by the constraint of like the consoles, right? You can't really put a lot of data. Here, they don't really have the money. But even so, they be like, we gotta make every cent worth it. Instead of like, before was like, we gotta make every byte worth it. Every byte of data worth it. This time it's like, they have to make every every cent every cent that they have worth it. And even so, even so, they didn't like, they didn't pull back on the music. I think based on the lesson they learned from P3, like, it bleeds into most of the games that they make now. Okay, even though they have more financial leeway, but they still try to keep that. They try to keep that in mind. And hearing this BGM makes you feel melancholic, you know, want to reminisce about the past. Okay. There's some time until dinner, so I decided to I decided to leave the dorm again with Koromaru. This Gekkokang dormitory is where we live. It was briefly closed after Mitsuru-san and the others graduated. This is what I was surprised. All the equipment from a few years ago was removed, of course, but with the increase in students in Gekkokang, they decided to reopen the dorm. I applied for a room as soon as I heard. The reason I did was because Koromaru. He had been in Aige's care, but at this dorm he'd be allowed to live with me. Also, to be honest, I felt that living here let me stay close to my companions who are fighting even now. Back then, everyone took turns walking Koromaru. Now it's my job. The path to the nearby Nakanaki shrine is Koromaru's usual route. Koromaru's quite old for a dog, but as he trots along his usual pace along our usual path, it makes me think for a while that all the fighting back then was just a dream. Only when I'm watching Koromaru walk like this I can forget everything and feel a little at ease. We pass through the gateway at the entrance and step onto the shrine grounds. Like, this is how you're supposed to like, you know, portray the Japanese shrine, you know? Not like what Assassin's Creed did by you know, you can see, you remember the trailer, right? Although like now they disabled it. Like I think like the Prime Minister of Japan talked about Assassin's Creed, like they need to like have the permission from the shrine. Okay, because they even actually use their name in it, okay? But for P3, they change the name but they keep the appearance, right? And even then, I think they did it more than enough justice. We pass through the gateway at the entrance and step onto the shrine grounds. Since it's nearly sundown, there's nobody but us in this serene atmosphere. I sit down on a bench and sigh to myself. Koromaru notices and immediately rushes over to nuzzle my leg. Even while I'm saying it, I'm sure Koromaru can see through my words. I can understand him the same way Aegis-san can, but even I can tell what Koromaru is thinking. I pet Koromaru as he looks up at me with worried whine, and I put my hand in my pocket to pull out the Shadow Operative badge that Mitsuru-san gave me. Koromaru wears the same badge on his collar. This morning I got a call from Sana-san for the first time in a long while. He said that he just came back to Japan from a 1-year-long training journey. Wandering the world, I knew he was the kind of person who would put himself through anything in order to get stronger, but this is the sort of thing that you only hear about in stories. Sana-san told me that he had gone to see Mitsuru-san directly after his return to this country, but had been immediately dispatched on an emergency. He's currently busy with that, so he just said that he would tell me more about his trip some other time. I know that being a shadow operative must be tough, but he seems so excited when talking about them, so it's like I get this pent up feelings inside. A member, yes, but only as a part of the secondary unit that only gets called out in extreme situation. Being a part of a special suppression unit has a cool ring to it that I like. But the official shadow operatives are each given a unique number. Like now, this is one thing that I want to bring up. Okay, it's that we do know Mitsuru is number 1. No argument about that. But number 5 is Aegis. Like just now we did see Kikuno. I assume that she could be number 2. But it doesn't make sense that Aegis is number 5 and there's still more people above that we don't know. Like earlier I say that like if Akihiko is like number 2 to number 4, I can still accept it, which he should be, because he's not a secondary unit, because he's wholly devoted into like getting stronger, but then he's also aloof in terms of like he went around and traveled all over the place to get stronger, right? So I would put him at number 4. But then who's the other person above Aegis? Either if it's number 3 or number 4. Point is, there's still somebody who is above Aegis. Who would that be? For example, Aegis-san is number 5. There, thank you for bringing it up. We don't have that. We're just auxiliary members. Who is in between number 1 to number 5? I want to know. I haven't been called to action yet, and I doubt I'll ever be until after I graduate high school. After all, I did promise Mitsuru-san that I would try to live up my childhood as much as I could. But at least like you may feel like you want to grow up. In Japanese, we have the word senobi, which is like trying to stand up on your tippy toes to make you make you feel that you're taller. Okay, and I feel Ken is like that. He's trying to like make himself look like an adult, but we all know that this is a time that you can only do it once. So even if even if you don't like it, try to do your best to enjoy it. Because you're never gonna get a second chance. In following that promise to try as much as I could, I've been acting like a child on the surface. An average middle school student studying, helping out with club activities, and even taking part in student council. But I haven't officially joined any clubs, and the reason why is because I asked Mitsuru-san to call me for help if she ever needed me. I know that no organization under the police would be able to command an underage person, so let alone someone in middle school. I'm only a shadow operator for show, and only a child for show. If this continues, I won't know when I'll be able to go back to who I really am.
難しいな。自分のために生きるのって何をすればいいのかわからなくなるよ。
You know, I wouldn't mind if they make like a separate timeline and we went through Ken, and Ken become like the protagonist as well, and he has the power of the wild. I can see that, you know. But since ATLUS is like that set on like, okay, when we release the game should be in that year that we release. So I feel complicated about things. I think back on the words left by the person who saved my life. I thought I'd come to understand them at one point, but as time passed, other emotions began to rear their
すっか
head.
り暗くなっちゃったね。帰ろっか、コロマル。
I wonder if I'll be able to if I'll be left behind like this. Would things actually be better if I just forget about everything? Could I live with myself if I had the power to fight, but did nothing with it? I've been thinking a lot about that. I stand up from the bench and look across the dark, quiet temple grounds. Wait, I just realized something. Thinking back on the words left by the person who saved my life. Is he talking about Aragaki or the protagonist? Because if you ask me, I'm not saying that I'm not saying protagonist didn't do much for him. Aragaki did more to him than protagonist. That's what I feel. Like Aragaki literally, sacrificed his life, while protagonist is emotional support and like guide them. If they make that protagonist, I feel bad for Aragaki. But then, if you think about it, right? If they're ever gonna bring back protagonist, I do hope they bring back Aragaki as well. But no way they're gonna do that, right? I won't reach an answer just by thinking about it. I know that. But at that moment, Koromaru suddenly barks at me. It's been a while since I heard him bark like this. He's been getting more and more mellow these days. What's that sound? Some rhythmic noise is approaching from above. The wind becomes stronger and the trees around the temple begin to rustle. I look up into the sky and a bright light turns on high above. As my eye adjusts, I see a previously hidden black helicopter in the otherwise pitch black sky. Pitch black? It's like something out of a movie. Is it the military? No, it can't be right. As if to answer my doubt, the searchlight streams down, pinning shadows on the ground. Something happened. That's my first thought. I don't know why, but for some reason, I sense elation rising up through my body. I grip my shadow operator badge tightly, then thrust it back into my pocket as I take a deep breath. I run towards the helicopter. It would be hard if he went up the ladder with Koromaru, right? Labrisa's dreams. Junpei's dreams. Oh man, I'm going a bit slower, but thanks to the mellow song that caused me to talk a bit more.
こは
Damn it, here we go again. You the fuck? Oh. It's gonna be a slow time, okay? Blue skies and azure oceans spread out before my eyes. A gentle breeze brushes my cheek as I stand on a blindingly glistening beach. The sun shining from high above. The sound of the waves is calming.
なんでこないなとこにみつるさんとこでメンテナンス中のはずやんね。
I retraced my memories with a hit of bewilderment. Because I had been severely damaged in the recent battles, I was to undergo full repairs at the laboratory in the Shadow Operates facility. I was placed into a protective case, and Fuka-san explained that was going to happen while Ei stood nearby.
せやったらこれは夢？
Dun. I vaguely remember this sensation. It's similarly something to I have experienced it's similar to something I've experienced a number of times before. Fuka-san said this would shut down my consciousness during the maintenance, thus I shouldn't be able to dream. Is this a random phenomenon occurred during my reboot process?
うちまたこないな格好しとる。
I'm wearing the uniform from Yasugami High. My arms are human arms. Since what's in one's heart can be reflected in dreams, this must be one of my desires. Still, I know it's nothing but an illusion. I understand, but I won't deny it any longer. She really have grown. This isn't really an appearance that I wanted to recall so soon after what happened yesterday. But it seems the me deep within my heart won't let me be that way. Still, as I gaze this scenery, I eventually stop caring. I take a step towards the pier that juts out from the beach, then turn my attention to my internal
夢で
GPS.
そんなんしたかてしゃあないか。
I don't need GPS to know what this place is. It's where I hit a certain wish in my heart sometime long ago.
ほんまに綺麗や。夢ならこのまま向こうに行けるんとちゃうやろか。
Just while I think that, the pier under my feet crumbles and disappears without a sound. Just like that, the azure water swallowed me. The sun's light becomes dim, but I feel no anxiety. A mysterious sensation envelops me, as if everyone is near me, and I'm connected with everyone. Eventually, when the feeling of floating becomes stronger, I lose all sense of up and down. The sea changes into a field of countless light in the darkness.
今度はどこやろ。
Oh,
新客到来でございます。おや、あなた様はいつぞやにお会いした艦長、いえ、社長さん、いな、会長様でございますね。
I turn towards the voice and see a familiar woman in a blue dress, Elizabeth. She gave me a word of caution during yesterday's battle when I had been turning my eyes away from my true self. This is an unexpected reunion with the person who appeared before me like a storm and left with the same amount of force.
こんにちは。あの時はほんまお気に。俺ちゃんと言われへんかったし。
さて、あなた様がご自身と向き合い、試練を乗り越えられましたのは、あなた様ご自身の力によるものです。加えて、あの場に居合わせた方々との心の通い合いによる助力があったかと。私の助力など、カッパの屁でございます。
カッパの屁？ようわからんけど、ここも綺麗なとこやね。どこなんやろか。
ここは人の心の内なる世界。こちらにいらしたということは、現実のあなたはおそらくお休みになっておられます。自ら心をなし、それを育むあなた様ならば、時にこちらへ迷い込まれたとしても、すっとんきょうではございません。
なんや難しい話やね。エリザベスさんはここで何してはるの？
ありていに申しますと、内緒でございます。あえて言うならば、まだ見ぬ力を欲してとでも申しましょうか。
へえ、エリザベスさんも力が欲しい？もうデタラメな強さやのに。
私、力で思い出しました。あなた様は先頃の戦いを通じて
新たな力を手に入れられたご様子。僭越ながら私、そういったものには好奇心をマックス抑えられぬ愛らしい性質でございます。その力、ぜひともご披露いただきたく存じます。
待って、それって今ここでうちと戦いはるいうこと？
あら、私としたことが失念しておりました。確かにこのような場所でどんちゃん騒ぎをいたしますのはあまり粋ではございませんね。
いや、場所の話とちゃうねんけど。
ですがご心配には及びません。すぐにふさわしい舞台をご用意いたします。
用意するん？
She flips the books with a fluid motion. As she does, a blue circle draws itself into the air and scenery around us changes. Uh-oh. The tranquil ocean-like area changes into a familiar place. This is the announcement room at the school that I had created. Beyond the glass is the red-stained room hanging the corpses of my sisters I had destroyed with my own hands. I feel a lump in my throat as the memories come back to me. I look down and see that my body has returned to its cold, white, metallic one. This is my true form.
少々動揺なさっておいででしょうか。ですが、お時間の方も押してまいりました。
Before I can sort out my emotion, the aura I feel from Elizabeth begins to intensify. She's coming.
無用で参ります。ドロー、ペルソナカード。
Round final. Fight!
Oh, damn it! Let's try and use this. Damn it. I didn't know that. She was just relaxing there. Just relaxing over there.
お見事でございました。あなた様が手にされた力、しかと拝見させていただきました。
While I was preoccupied with finding Elizabeth, I remember something. This is the place where I face myself and gain something precious and irreplaceable. Yu-kun, Mitsuru-san, and all the others. Imagine their faces cause a mysterious strength to well out from within me. Elizabeth smiles. She calmly returns to the conversation we had been
あ
having.
なたの願い、大切な約束、それを成し得るかどうかはすべてあなた次第。あなたがなさねば誰にも成し得ません。ですが見方を変えれば、それはあなた次第でいかようにもなる。そう受け取れるのではございませんか。
うちがやれば。
さようでございます。まずはすでに訪れつつある受難を乗り越えられることが先決ではございますが。
受難？どういうこと？これただの夢とちゃうの？
ええ、受難はそれはもうずっぽしとあなたのすぐそこまで顔を出しております。ごぶん。
ちょ待って、受難って何？それどういう？
The announcement room begins to fade to white and disappears into the distance, and I hear a siren-like sound. As if in sync with the siren, Elizabeth begins to grow hazy as well. My own voice is lost in the warning sound that crashes over me like waves. I just need to talk to her, just a little. The moment after everything goes white, the laboratory appears in my vision. An ear-piercing wailing just sounds fills the air.
起動したか。ったく俺に機械をやらせるなってんだ。
I look toward this voice and see an unfamiliar man in black pinstripe suit. The man looks frustrated as he fumbles with my case, disconnecting the wires leading from the terminals to my body.
どうだ動けるか。黒沢だ刑事。ああ刑事ってわかるか。
Kurosawa, I have no memory of this man, but for some reason, I recognize his name. This must be the information that was inserted into my knowledge database. Beginning personal scan, matching iris and voice print. Identified. Detective Kurosawa.
みつるさんらのお知り合いやの？
まあそんなところだ。
As far as I can find in the database, he seems to be a person who can be trusted. He has a long history of private and public interaction with Mitsuru-san and the other shadow
手短
operatives.
に言うぞ。緊急事態だ。ご令状、桐城充を乗せた車の消息が途絶えた。
みつるさんたちがどういうことなん？
An emergency, she's missing? Only after hearing this do I pause to re-examine my surrounding. The siren must be in response to the ongoing events. I'm unable to get a grasp of the situation, only become more confused.
話は後だ。屋上へ急ぐぞ。
As he speaks, Detective Kurosawa tosses me a small bundle. I open to find the Yasugami High uniform I've been wearing in my dreams. Does he want me to wear this? So I'm still perplexed. I put on the uniform Detective Kurosawa gave me and follow him as he runs to the stairway. I see that his gun is drawn. As we bound up the stairs, I desperately ask him the questions boiling in my mind.
黒沢さん、みつるさんらは無事なん？誰にやられたん？
黙って走れ。ただ急いでるわけじゃない。俺たち自身も追われてるんだよ。
I'm taken aback for a moment. The shadow operatives may be part of the National Police Agency, but their existence has been kept hidden from the civilian population. This lad's very existence should be hidden from the ordinary people, and yet it has been attacked.
ならうちが。
やめとけ。追っ手は人間。それも公安の連中だ。
Huh? This only confuses me more. What's going on here? The public safety group are at the very top of the National Police Agency Security Bureau. They should be on our side. Why would they be coming after us? I bite my lip in fear. I thought that I finally met people who understood me and that I finally had a place where I belong. Yet now that I'm awakened, I'm being pursued by armed people once more. People who are supposedly to be on our side at that. Painful memories of Yakushima return to my mind. I shake my head, trying to clear it of these thoughts, but it's not that easy. At that moment, Detective Kurosawa speaks up as if he can see through my emotions.
辛いだろうがな。こいつが戦うって生き方だ。
His words snatch me out of my reverie. That's right. The world isn't always filled with things like this. There are people who understood me and accept me. They are all staying right by my side. Can I not make my own decision to protect these people?
黒沢さん。なら屋上までちょい近道や。
With that, I pick up Kurosawa and run ahead. I'm going to do everything I can.
おい、何やそれ。
I jump and ignite my boosters on my back and then kick off the wall. It's a bit rough move, but I have determined that it is in our best interest to proceed quickly and as quickly as possible in this situation. We shoot up the staircase to the landing, where I kick the wall again to send us flying up the staircase in the opposite direction. I repeat this a number of times, rocketing up to the extremely long staircase and allowing us to reach the door to the rooftop in less than a minute.
やれやれ。大した玉だよ、まったく。
堪忍な。でも。
まあいい。これなら任せられそうだ。
Detective Kurosawa seems pale, but he still stands up, and I see the strength of will in his eyes as he speaks to me.
こっから先はお前らにしかできない戦いだ。
When he opens the door slightly, the chilly air from outside rushes in through the gap.
あいつらのこと頼んだぞ。
Ooh. Kurosawa opens the door and the wind whips at us. Uh-oh.
行け。早く。
And then around this time she got a call. Oh no, around this time is when she called Naoto.
どうやら逃げ切りましたね。
間に合った。はじめまして、ラビリス。私は竹場ゆかり。あ、はい。
天田健です。すごいや、アイギスさんと同じって本当なんだ。あ、こっちはコロマルです。
はい。犬？
ペットを連れてきたわけじゃないですよ。こう見えてもコロマルは戦力ですから。
Beginning personnel scans. Everyone on this helicopter seems to be a member of Shadow Operatives. According to the new data I was given during my repairs, they are all Mitsuru-san's friends since high school. These people are all comrades who have fought alongside with Mitsuru-san and each other.
竹場さんって変わった格好してはりますね。あ、これ。いや、だって急に迎えに来るから着替えてる暇とかなくてさ。もう。この先いろんな人から毎回突っ込まれんだろうな、これ。
フェザーピンク。
ゆかりでいいよ。よろしくね、ラビリス。
でもこんな大事な時に身内から追われるなんて。黒沢さんに匿名のリークがなかったら危ないところでしたよ。
そうや、公安の人がうちを狙うなんてどないなってるん？
あ、そっか、ラビリスさんは知らないんですね。
What happened? Kenken politely explained the situation to me. Some people in the public safety department don't think well of the Shadow Operative. When Mitsuru-san and the others went missing, public safety took advantage of this confusion and attempted to take control over the Shadow Operative headquarters. Like, this is the one thing that I feel that haven't been explained when we were playing P4, episode P4, is that the public safety, like, why did they attack the Shadow Operatives at this time? It feels so conveniently. It's very convenient. They had been trying to remove Mitsuru-san from her position and showed up at the lab in an attempt to confiscate me for evidence. To move this quickly after she disappeared though, public safety must have some way of knowing what's going on with the Shadow Operatives.
Mitsuru-sanが自作自演なんてそんなわけあらへん。
僕にも理解できませんね。そういうメンツとか大人の事情っていうの全く馬鹿げてますよ。
まあね。ただ公安の中にもそういう状況をよく思ってない人がいるからこそ黒沢さんに匿名リークがあったんでしょ。そうなんや。あ、そういえば黒沢さん大丈夫やろか。コロマルが大丈夫だってさ。あ、ゆかりさんも犬の言葉分かりはるの？なんとなくね。結構付き合い長いし。それに黒沢さんならきっとうまくやるよ。
Oruma-san white fur reminds me of something. Snowy, my friend who I met on the southern island. I can tell from Yukari-san's words that all the others here in this helicopter know each other very well.
これからどこに向かうんです？みつるさんら探しに行くんよね。みつる先輩たち稲葉市ってとこでシャドウ反応が上昇してそこへ向かったらしいの。とりあえず私たちもそれを追うつもり。稲葉市。
That's right, this could be a continuation of the events from yesterday. An ordeal. Elizabeth's words from my dream echoed in my mind.
そんな暗い顔しないでよ。みつる先輩ならきっと大丈夫。真田先輩も風花もアイギスだってついてるしさ。そういえばラビリスってアイギスのお姉さんなんだっけ？あ、はい。先に作られたってだけやけど。ぎこちないな。そんな硬くならないでいいよ。
アイギスさんより前のタイプって聞いてましたけど、全然普通だし、そんな風に思えませんよね。背中の斧で戦うんですか？ちょっと触らせてもらっても？
The two of them are interacting with me quite normally, even though they know that I'm a machine. Even though they must know what happened in Inaba and about my past. That acceptance makes me happy. Koromaru-san is gazing intently at me.
ゆかりさん、いおりさんとの連絡はつきましたか
Iori? Ah, Junpei! Junpei... Junpei Iori. Was it Iori Junpei? Junpei Iori. Yeah, his given name is Iori. Junpei is his family name, right? Was it the other way around? Iori Junpei. Junpei Iori. Iori Junpei. Oh, Iori is the family name. Because Kikuno is very... Kikuno will not call him by his given name. So his definitely family name is Iori. She seems demure, but if she can pilot a helicopter like this, her skill seems to know no limits. But I've been told that Kikuno-san isn't a Persona user. Isn't it dangerous for her to come with us in a situation like this? Yukari-san pulls out her cell phone. It seems they are trying to meet up with Iori Junpei, another part-time shadow operative and a fellow comrade since high school. While Yukari-san is on the phone, I decide to ask Kikuno-san about the doubts I have. Aikawa Kikuno.
そうですね。あるのは影時間への適性だけです。
あるんですね。知らなかった。日々上家のメイドさんってすごいや。
それってシャドウと戦えへんってことやんね。せやのにこんな現場まで来てくれはって危ないとちゃいますか？
If I have the correct information, then the grotesque monster known as shadows, our enemies, can only be defeated by people who can use personas. In other words, since Kikuno-san is an ordinary human who could never defeat a shadow, even if she has the most proficient warrior in the world. If she ever encountered a shadow on her own, Kikuno-san would face immediate death. And yet she smiles warmly as she answers me.
直接シャドウとやり合うばかりが戦いじゃありませんよ。顔は合わせませんでしたが、前回あなたを助けに行った時も私は動いていたんです。
She brought Fuka? I think that's it. But I'm more curious about there are more ways to deal with shadow than the direct method. Like they probably fought a lot of shadows, and they probably have like a way to subdue them. How?
それぞれが自分の役割に視力を尽くす。戦いとはそういうものですよ。
さすが本職は SP ってだけはありますね。
To be honest, I don't understand. True, Kikuno-san is helping us by piloting the helicopter for us. But if that's all it took, then someone could easily program me with the ability to fly with the helicopter, and there would be no need for Kikuno-san to be exposed to the danger of having joined this operation. I can't think of any other words, and I look away from her. I end up meeting Kenken's eyes, and I feel a little awkward. Yukari-san puts down her phone and turns to us again. Everyone's attention returns to getting up to speed with the current situation.
仕方ないですね。僕らだけで捜索を開始しましょう。
そういえば菊野さん、何の連絡もなしによく私たちの居場所分かったね。
携帯電話の GPS 信号をたどりました。一応警察の協力組織ですから、緊急時のためにそのくらいのことはできますよ。もっともそれも万能じゃないと今回で分かりましたが。
順平さんのことですね。
その斜め上を行く順平も恐るべしね。
Hikari-san sighs with an exasperated expression. As I reflect that this Junpei-san appears to be something of an odd person, Kikuno-san taps her armrest as if remembering
いけ
something.
ない。忘れるところでした。ラビリスさん、現地到着までの間にこれを。
With that, Kikuno-san hands me
あ
a
なたに
folder.
伝えるよう山岸さんに頼まれていたんですが、こんな状況になってしまったので、ご自分で目を通していただけますか。
As I flip through the documents, in the thick file, I noticed that certain names appear again and again. Mitsuru, Akihiko, and the names of everyone here. What is this?
3年前に起きた戦いのあらましです。
3年前の戦い。
そっか、今回の犯人絶対関係ありますもんね。
Few years ago refers to the incident leading to Mitsuru and the rest meeting one another. I haven't had a chance to go over it in detail, but supposedly it's the case that became the impetus for Mitsuru to establish a shadow operative. And the bonds that they have formed among each other. They were nurtured through the battles they took part in back then. Such deep connections looked radiant into my eyes. It said that it's important that I learn more about what happened then, as important as learning about who or whatever behind the events going on now. If I just wanted information, I could just easily transfer the data directly into my memory. But by actively reading it like this, I will be able to understand what happened. Her thoughtfulness of treating me same as a person makes me happy. Ikuno-san glances at me once more and nods slightly as if in approval.
それ似合っていると思いますよ。大舞台に形は大事です。
Does she mean the uniform I'm wearing? Oh, I get it. She must have been the one who prepared the Yasagami uniform that Kurosawa gave me. The sudden compliment is a little embarrassing, but I can't help but smile. I mean, this uniform to me is a proof of connection to Yu-kun and his friends.
ありがとう。
Ikuno-san reacts with a small smile and produces some other items.
ゆかりさんと天田さんには召喚機とこちらの武器を。種類はお二方ご愛用のものを用意しました。
ありがとうございます。やっぱり僕にはこれが一番ですよ。
Kenkan takes a spear from Kikuno. Isn't she piloting the helicopter? Kenkan takes a spear from Kikuno-san and sits back with a satisfied expression. The spear is longer than Kenkan is tall, but he seems confident. Wouldn't such a weapon be too unwieldy for him to handle?
菊野さん、これって。
Kikuno-san hands Yukari-san what appears to be a large pink bow that perfectly matches the suit she's wearing. Upon seeing it, Yukari-san looks baffled.
これアルティメットアローだ。
ピンク色や。
版元から資料を取り寄せ早急にあつらえました。性能は劇中を凌駕しています。ご安心ください。
いや、性能は最高なんだろうけどさ。
実戦ですから日頃から一番手に馴染んだモデルが最適と考え、これではないかという結論に。
そういうことなんだ。そんな合理的な説明が来るとは思ってなかった。
無用の配慮でしたか。
いらないっつうの。はあ、まあもういいけどね。
でも僕ちょっぴり興味あるな。触ってもいいですか。
His Kenkan reaches towards the bow with interest. I sense the helicopter tilt slightly to the
正
side.
解します。お捕まりください。
Huh? The helicopter leans more sharply as Kikuno-san speaks. It seems that we need to take on more fuel before we reach Inaba. I reflect on Elizabeth's words as I look down on the view spreading up below us. It reminds me of that mysterious sea-like place. The air in the helicopter is heavy. Upon reaching the last known location of Mitsuru-san and the others, we immediately see that the guardrail is broken, as if a car had smashed through it. We look down the cliff and discovered a black vehicle below, unmistakably Mitsuru-san's limousine. There were no skid marks on the road that indicated braking, and the car's body is seriously damaged. It appeared that it had been going on at a very high rate of speed when it hit the barrier. Everyone paled in an instant, and we were at a loss for words, but the driver was the only person in the vehicle. Though he was injured, there were no traces of blood from anyone other than him in the car. We wondered for a moment if the others had been able to leave the vehicle on their own, but if they had, they would have tried to contact us. Well, I assume since they are monitors, right, and it was hijacked, like they probably pulled them into the TV world from there. Furthermore, there were no footprints around the vehicle at all. We did another search for their GPS signal, but there were no signs of their whereabouts. That left us with only one conclusion.
考えたくないですけど、敵に拘束されたってことですかね。
命は助かったんだと前向きに考えましょう。連れ去った以上、敵は利用価値を見出しているはず。
Or
無限
maybe,
には扱われないでしょう。
or maybe since they did see that they're gonna fall off the cliff, they purposely go into the TV world.
チャンスはあります。
I carried the injured driver from the bottom of the cliff back up to the road. Ikuno-san requested a vehicle to transport him to the hospital under the Kirijo family's care. Ikuno made this decision since we wouldn't have been able to explain what happened to a normal ambulance. Also, it's possible that the people from the public security would take him away if we report this to the authorities. Ikuno-san asked the personnel who arrived with the transport to try to ask the driver about what happened when he regained consciousness. That will likely be difficult, however. If this is similar to what happened last time, a driver would have no memories of the events, much like the people who captured me and transported me to Inaba last time. However, there's no guarantee that the same had happened to the limousine driver. Not long after, we were back in the helicopter, which takes us to where we are now. To be honest, everyone's at a loss about how bad the situation is. Kanken tries to change the topic in an attempt to divert us from our worries.
菊野さんってヘリ操縦できちゃうのすごいですよね。山あいでホバリングとか難しいって聞きますけど、訓練とかしてるんですか？
ほんのここ数年ですよ。以前ヘリを使った襲撃作戦に1枚噛んでましたからね。
ヘリで襲撃？どこです？
高校の学生寮を少々。
あ
あ？
あそれ。
Huh? Huh?
同じことをされても対応できるように私も学ぶことにしました。
My understanding had been renewed. It seems that being a maid is a very serious and very difficult occupation.
やっと順平と連絡ついたよ。理由はわかんないけど、安稲葉駅にいるらしくて、そこから動くなって言っといた。とりあえず私たちも稲葉市に行ってみよう。何か手がかりとかつかめるかもしれないし。
Mitsuru-san's group had gone missing before sunset and it's almost midnight
今
now.
回の事件、犯人はラビリスさんを強奪した人間と同一でしょ。こんなことできるなんて他に考えられませんよ。問題はみつるさんたちをさらった目的が何かってことですけど。
Kanker flips through the reports on the events of the case up until now, seemingly lost in thought. What is to be gained by kidnapping Mitsuru-san this time? At that moment, heavy static flickers across the video displays within the helicopter. P1 Grand Prix.
強い者が勝ち、負けた者が去る。今宵我々は史上最も熱いドラマの目撃者になる。P1 の勝利の女神が今このリングに舞い降りた。準備はいいか P1 ファンよ。準備はいいか。全面戦争勃発かな。
花村陽介。
P1 グランプリ出場者が続々参戦。世界に冠たる P1 のリングで選手たちが再び伝説を築き上げる。己の意地と意地が交錯し 火花を散らすこの戦い。ある者は誇りをかけ、またある者は名声をかける。求められるはさえ渡る頭脳か、磨き上げた肉体か。さあ盛り上がってまいりました。最強の称号を今宵その胸に輝かせるのは誰か。栄光の歴史に燦然と輝き語り継がれゆく者は果たして誰か。つわものどもが夢の後、グランプリ最終章、諸行無常の P1 クライマックス、間もなく。
It feels weird though if Hino Kagutsuchi is the one that's behind all of this, right? If Hino Kagutsuchi is behind all of this, it feels a bit off.
あれって稲葉市のペルソナ使いの子たちでしょ。それにみつる先輩たちも。
What I mean by like, it's weird for Hino Kagutsuchi to make all of this. It's supposed to be a god, so it shouldn't be that like he shouldn't be able to know about video editing and stuff. But it seems natural for it, you know? You guys get the idea what I'm trying to say?
事件記録にありま
There
した
must be
ね。
somebody who
確
made
か
it.
稲葉市で深夜に映ったという真夜中テレビじゃないでしょうか。
うちも映っとった。でもこの前流れたっていうのとはちゃうかったみたいやけど。
All of us in the helicopter are oddly confused. Who would broadcast something like that and why? The P1 CLIMAX is obviously a continuation of the fighting tournament. Suddenly the monitor switches to another feed.
やっほー、ラビティアン、元気でやってるクマか。
クマ相当？なんで？あんたはもううちが。
General Teddy, in the recent P1 Grand Prix, the one calling itself General Teddy turned out to be my own shadow. But I accepted my shadow and gained the power to use a persona. But if he's on the screen again, then General Teddy ignores my confusion and continues.
クマがそう簡単に消えるわけないでしょう。っていうか、クマのいない P1 なんてお豆腐抜きの麻婆豆腐クマよ。
こっちの声が聞こえてる？これクマっていう変なペルソナ使いじゃない？
いえ、前回の事件で格闘大会を主催したというクマ総統でしょうね。消滅したという記録だったのに、クマ総統、ミツルさんたちをどこにやった？返答によっては僕が許さないぞ。
へっへー、子供はもう寝る時間ね。生意気なこと言ってると説明してあげないクマよ。クマ。
説明やて？
そうよ。なんて言ったってそっちの3人も P1 クライマックスの大事なメインゲストね。当然参戦するでしょ。
なんだって、一体何が狙いだ？
うるせえガキクマね。人質の命が惜しければお前たちは参戦するしかないのだよ。
Huh?
P1 クライマックス、それはクライマックスの名にふさわしい貼り付け怠慢世界滅亡ですもーっち。なんと1時間のうちに怠慢勝負で勝ち上がんなきゃ世界が滅亡しちゃうクマよ。勘違いしないように言っておく。今回の舞台はテレビの中などではない。お前たちが暮らす紛れもない現実だ。せいぜい楽しむと。そんではここで特別に特設ステージの状況をお見せしましょう。
The video feed switches to something else. What is it? Oh yeah, they're being captured.
様ってみつる先輩。
真田さん、アイギスさんで風花さんも。
さーて、囚われの女王とその下僕どもの運命やいかに。ああ、それとそんな物騒な乗り物は乗り入れ禁止くな。駐車場はないので会場へは徒歩でお越しください。それでは対空砲火開始。ペルクマーヒント起動時テ
Whoa. With that last command from General Teddy, the monitor turns off. After a moment of silence, Kikuno-san shouts from the cockpit, "Wait, shouldn't Labris be calling out to... Shouldn't Labris be having a conversation with Naoto through the phone? Like, that's something that happened. Why didn't it?" After a moment of silence, Kikuno-san shouts from the cockpit,
接近警報。嘘。本当にミサイル。回避します。皆さん、対ショック姿勢を。ミサイル？
There's a deafening roar and the helicopter shakes madly but
ま
recovers.
さか命中。
気流に巻かれましたが至近通過です。でもこのままだと近くに着弾が。
爆発。花火。
In the moments after the explosion, General Teddy's face was drawn in the night sky with colorful sparks. It even managed to capture his image, taunting us with his tongue sticking out.
外してやったんだって顔ですね。発射地点はおそらく稲橋方面かと。冗談じゃないわよ。戦争でもしてるっての？って何あれ？
今立ってる。大きい。
Yukari-san points to the shape of a gigantic building stretching towards the sky. Something red is writhing around that bizarre structure, trying to envelop the town below it. It's red fog?
画像拡大します。
Ah. Ikuno-san is just a monitor that has just been displayed. Displaying General Teddy's laughing face to us, the enormous structure up ahead. I notice Yukari-san and Ken can both tense up when they catch sight of it.
これってまるで。
タルタロスだ。
Searching the data for Tartarus results found a labyrinth that only appeared during the dark hour, and a breeding ground for shadows. It was also the place where a powerful being was going to descend upon the world to bring about the destruction. The document in my hand will have a page dedicated to it as well. What I read there confounds me. 3 years ago, Mitsuru-san and her companion were in high school. Something happened there. All I can get is that they fought desperately in a tower called Tartarus, and that resembles the one outside. As the red fog grows thicker, the building that Kenku and Yukari-san refers to as Tartarus began to disappear from our view.
すみません。口惜しいですが、撃墜を避けるために一旦離脱します。そんな、ここまで来て。追尾式が来れば今度はかわせません。中身がただの花火でも一発もらえばヘリは墜落です。待って菊野さん。高度を下げて私たちが降りられる場所を探して。無茶です。着陸なんてしたら狙い撃ちですよ。だから私たちだけ降ろしたら着陸しないでそのまま離脱して。何を言ってるんです。
僕からもお願いします。大丈夫。さっきクマ総統が言ってたこと聞きましたよね。歩いてこいって。あとは僕らで何とかします。
了解しました。降下地点を検索。近くに大型商業施設があるようです。
While dodging explosion from missiles flying merciless towards us, the helicopter nosedives, plunging us towards the ground as we move closer to
ラビ
Inaba.
キさん、これを持っていってください。何かの役に立つかもしれません。エルゴノミクス研究所に機密として保管されていたデータです。作成者の名は生月修二。
Ikutsuki Shuji. That name was also in the documents that Kikuno-san had given me. He betrayed Mitsuru-san at the last moment 3 years ago and revealed himself as an enemy. Ever since the death of Koetsu Kirijo, the patriarch of the Kirijo family, 2 generations ago, this man took the lead in all the terrible events relating to the shadows. That is how dangerous this man is. But the document also say Ikutsuki took his own life.
ファイル名はプロジェクトパペットマスターとなっています。そのまま取れば人形使い計画でしょうか。
人形使いやてそれってそのうちやアイギスのデータなんやろか。
コードに暗号化されていて一部しか読めませんが、黄昏の羽に絡む実験データのようです。
黄昏の羽の実験、なんでうちに？
敵の正体を突き止める手がかりとなるかもしれません。実はごく最近エルゴ研のサーバでこのファイルに外部から不正アクセスを試みたらしい痕跡が見つかりました。調査の結果、侵入に使われた端末はこの付近、多分稲葉市内にあります。
それつまり事件より前から稲葉の誰かがデータのこと知ってて狙ってたいうこと？
Ikuno nods silently. Of all the files on the quarantine server to go after, if this one was specifically targeted, then the hacker must at least have known of its presence there. The cyber attack wasn't done by some ordinary hacker who broke into the server and was looking around out of curiosity, which means that the hacker is probably either the culprit himself or someone connected to them.
防壁に弾かれてアクセス自体は成功していません。ですが犯人は回線履歴をほとんど偽装していませんでした。
なんやて一体誰が？
The hacker didn't even attempt to cover their access to the server. Would that mean that they wanted someone to know about the existence of this file, even if they failed to access it? That doesn't make any sense. Putting aside whatever doubts we have, Ikuno-san continues on.
断片的にですが、データには水月翔という名前が何度も出てきます。
Ah, if it showed that he just wants to make a mark.
水月？誰やの
Minazuki Sho. I don't know that name. Could that person be the culprit? At the very least, there's no mistaking that this person is deeply related to this
パス
case.
コードが解読され次第連絡しますが、後のデータ転送が困難だった場合に備えてラビリスさんにお預けしておきます。
データだけうちに取り込んで見れる部分だけ見といたらええんよね。
それが良いかと。
わかった、ありがとう。
Ikuno-san hands me a memory card. I insert it into my memory slot and save the data into my internal memory. Just as Kikuno-san said, most of it is experiment records. There's one file that cannot be read. Project Puppet Master. What's in that file?
まもなく大型商業施設ジュネスの上空に到達します。皆さん、降下の準備を。
ちょっと待って、あそこ屋上のとこ誰かいない？
We all peer into the distance. Beyond the haze of the red fog is Inaba's largest shopping center. My search reveals that the place belongs to a chain named Junes. A blurry figure can vaguely be seen on the rooftop. This is what I've been saying. That Labris should have called up to Naoto. This is when they're gonna meet Naoto, okay? Yukun? For a moment I think it's someone I knew well, but the height and physique of the shape of the roof doesn't resemble anyone I know. Kankun raises a pair of binoculars and attempts to make out the figure's face. He's there?
そんなバカな。
どうしたの？
いくつき修二。
嘘でしょ。
Ikutsuki Shuji. The name leaves me at a loss for words. Perhaps he is mistaken. I open the side door and the helicopter, a strong gust of wind blows it. I ignore the wind and lean out to get a better look at the person on the roof. The helicopter is slightly attacked from unexpected direction and the vehicle sways alarmingly. That wasn't another missile. When I look up again, I see another shape standing near the figure on the rooftop. I knew it. That doesn't make sense. According to records, Ikutsuki Shuji was never able to use Persona. Is that man on the roof really, truly is this Ikutsuki person?
敵、再び攻撃姿勢。第2波来ます。
Before I can raise an objection, Yukari-san fixes her eyes on the enemy and draws her evoker. As expected for someone who had been in actual combat for a whole year, she's quick to act. Yukari-san's finger flexes around the trigger of her evoker, but in the instant before she pulls it, wait, I feel weird because okay, she have Isis. It makes sense because her origin is Io, but it kind of makes everybody have to go through the second awakening. Okay, from Io become Isis, and for Junpei from Hermes to Terras Plagiestos, and then we also have who was it? Like Akiko became Kaiser. I forgot what's the one before though. And then we also have Mitsuru turning into Artemisia, which is like the second awakening. I forgot the first one though. Yukari-san persona appears, creating a whirlwind around the helicopter that repels the attacker. Seeing Yukari-san so bewildered sends a chill down my spine. Being able to summon a persona without a necessary tool to aid in summoning, Mitsuru-san and Akiko-san reported a similar unpleasant experience when inside the TV world. But this isn't inside the TV world. But as outlandish and threatening as this situation is, there's no doubt that we are in the real world. General Teddy words come back to me.
勘違いしないように言っておく。今回の舞台はテレビの中などではない。お前たちが暮らす紛れもない現実だ。せいぜい楽しんで。
Don't tell me, this fog that's enveloping the town is the same fog on the other side of TV. A new voice suddenly reaches my ears. Who was that? I look around in bewilderment. Did anyone actually talk? Am I hearing things? Kenkin's shout snaps me out of my thoughts. Yukari-san still look confused, but Kenken notices something and unbuckles his seatbelt with his spear at the ready. By this time, the helicopter has descended close enough to the roof of Junes that people and dogs can easily jump down. Koromaru growls and another persona appears. At the same time, Kenken leads out of the cabin, stabbing at the enemy's persona, closing in on us. Koromaru-san's persona and Kenken's spear both hit the attacking enemy at the same time. Kenken drops to the roof, unharmed. Koromaru and Yukari-san drop out of the helicopter and nimbly land on the roof. Amazing, their combat abilities are equal to those of the weapon like me or Ace. Even though they are secondary members of the Hero Operative, used only in time of emergency, it seems that they have been on the team this whole entire time. I quickly ready my axe and follow them. When I look back up to the red sky after landing, I see the helicopter gaining in altitude while maintaining its balance. Thanks to Kikuno-san's desperate resolve and piloting skills, we managed to safely reach Inaba. I check my surroundings once more while praying for Kikuno-san's safety. This is the Inaba branch of Junes, that department store chain. We're at the food court on its rooftop. This is where they're supposed to help out Naoto. Normally there would be plenty of people here, but given the current situation, it's obviously deserted.
あいつどこに逃げたんだ
You know, this gets back to the reason why I'm not that well, I'm not happy with P4A. Okay, like the reason why is that their timeline is not streamlined. Okay, like episode P4, it is parallel. Whatever happened is very like we're seeing from different perspective at the same time, okay? Because a lot of things are happening. This time they're trying to like make P4 and P3 two different timelines. Kanker readies his spirit and tries to peer into the fog, making visibility such a problem. I look around, ready for battle as well. Whoever attacked us should be nearby.
ねえ、天田くん。さっきここにいたのって本当にいくつきだったの？
ええ僕もはっきりと見たわけではないですけど見間違いということはないと思います。
ありえん。だっていくつき修二は。
That's right, Ikutsuki Shuji died 3 years ago. And we're just attacked by a persona. According to the records from that time, Ikutsuki had no persona.
とりあえずこの近くにはいないみたいね。まだ油断はできないけど。
There's a lot of fireworks going out now. He's right. I can scan the area and read no one else is here besides the 4 of us. I say as much and we lower our weapons in order to discuss our
僕は
strategy.
このままあいつを探します。幸いコロマルは鼻が利くし、もしあれがいくつきなら、奴は必ずこの事件に関わってるはずですから。
それもそうね。じゃあ天田くんとコロちゃんはさっきのやつを追いかけてもらえる？
This is so annoying. If you can hear. Why? Why do they fire a lot of fireworks now?
でもさっきの人ペルソナ使いやったみたいやし、天田くんらだけで危なくあらへんの？
The two humans look surprised for a moment and trade glances. Did I say something
大丈
odd?
夫ですよ。僕とコロマルのコンビなら、最悪敵に勝てなかったとしても、その場を切り抜けることくらいはできます。
まあ正直手分けした方が早いしね。心配してないわけじゃないけど、信じて任せるしかないっていうかさ。
They have absolute faith in each other after having fought together for so long. It's not that they don't have concern about one another, but they truly believe that they will accomplish the goals on their own. I wonder will these people ever feel the same way about me? After all this time, I realize how the time shared between Yukari-san and Kenken separates me from my companions. This is also another thing, where, like, when they landed, right, because Naoto was in trouble. Naoto was in trouble, and like the rest, they jumped down and they attacked the shadow, the shadow, okay, and Labris and the rest are like in sync, okay. So this is like trying to rewrite what happened in Persona 4, in episode P4. This is so weird.
で、私は駅の方へ行ってみる。順平迎えに行かなきゃだしさ。あいつ自体が把握できてないから。え、そうなん？さっき電話してたんちゃうの？したよ。したんだけど、あのバカ、携帯電池ないらしくてさ、途中で電話が切れちゃったの。一応何でも戦力にはなるだろうし、ひとまず合流しとかないとね。そうなんや。なんや大変そうなお人やね。わかる？そうなの。昔っからダメダメでさ。あれ、私変なこと言った？ちゃうねん。ゆかりさんらってほんまに仲ええねんなって思って。ああ、そうかな。まあ、そうかもね。
These people trust each other and they are always thinking of one another. When one of them faces danger, the other always rushes to help them. A term comes to mind: ideal companions. I wonder how Yukong and his friends are doing. I got a feeling that his group and Mitsuru-san's group are going through similar problems.
ラビリスはどうする？
みつるさんたちが心配ですよね。僕らもすぐにあの塔へ向かいますけど、先行してもらうことはできますか？
Yukari-san and Ken can look to me. It doesn't matter to them that I haven't known them for very long. They see me as a companion and trust me.
はい。じゃあ決まりね。ラビリスはあの塔へ向かって。あとさ、私さっきペルソナ呼んだ時、なんか変な感じだったの。ちょっと気をつけた方がいいかもね。
ゆかりさんも感じましたか？なんていうか召喚機が機能していないっていう感じですよね。
もしかするとこれ召喚機なしでもペルソナ呼べるようになっちゃってるかもね。
とにかく先を急ぎましょう。クマ総統の言ったことが本当なら僕らにはあまり時間がありませんから。
わかった。もし何かあった時はあの塔の下に集合ね。二人ともくれぐれも気をつけて。
Yukari-san and I leave Ken on the roof and head for the stairs. She and I split up not long after. Okay. I really hate this. So many fireworks going on right now. I think I'll end the stream after this, after we get to the next part. She and I split up not long after, all of us firmly believing that we'll see each other safely once more. I run at my full speed and turn my eyes towards the looming tower. I will rescue her. Okay, we'll pick it up on Thursday, okay? There's quite a lot of fireworks as you can hear. I think even my mic picked it up. And just so you know, I closed my windows and everything, okay? And I guess it reverberated through the roofs and stuff, okay? And it's only 10 p.m. I assumingly as it gets to midnight, we're gonna hear more. So even though I'm not gonna stream through midnight, but I assume that there's gonna be more fireworks being shot up. Okay, so for now I think we'll end it here, and I'll pick it up on Thursday. Tomorrow I can't stream because I'll be traveling the whole day. But until then, I'll leave it here, and Thursday we'll continue this, and on Friday we'll play Dark Deity. Okay, for me, I think at this rate we'll be able to finish Persona 4 by the end of the month, by end of April, okay? And that will just make it nicely coincide with Expedition 33, okay? And I'm looking forward to that as well, but for now, I'm gonna turn off the stream for now, okay? There's been a lot of fireworks, even in the distance, okay? So see you guys next time. Bye bye.